Have you ever wanted to enter your orchid in an orchid show? Have you ever wondered why some orchids receive ribbons and others do not? If you have, then listen to the rest of this video where I explain orchid judging according to the rules of the Mid-America Orchid Congress and how you can enter your orchids in a show and receive ribbons on them. It's really, really easy. The Mid-America Orchid Congress is a collection of over 50 orchid societies who are dedicated to the preservation of orchids. The Illinois Orchid Society, my society, is a member of the Mid-America Orchid Congress. They also all use the same show schedule. What is a show schedule, you ask? A show schedule lays out the classes that dictates how ribbons are given out, from the little first, second, and third place ribbons to the large best of class ribbons. There are a few requirements for entering an orchid in a show. 1. You need an orchid. 2. Be a member of an orchid society. And 3. You need to know which class to enter the orchid. I'm assuming that if you've watched this far that you have an orchid and you're a member of an orchid society or are willing to join one. So how do you enter your orchid in the correct class and get a ribbon? Orchid classes are in categories, and the first category is exhibits. In the open exhibit category, exhibit classes are divided by size and type. Then the first 5 classes belong to a trophy class, and one of the exhibits will receive the best of class ribbon. Exhibits are pretty easy, but picking a class for an orchid is much harder. The Cattleya Alliance makes up the first 2 trophy classes. Different members of the alliance get their own class. Species are in one class and hybrids are in another class. Each class has a number. A class with a higher number is judged first, and judges are allowed to move an orchid from one class to another as long as the class has not been judged yet. So if you don't know which class your orchid belongs to, then put it in a class with a smaller or higher number. The judges can move it if they want to. Cattleya and Goryanthe hybrids are also divided by color and size of the flower. If you aren't sure the color of the flower, like does pink go in mauve, red, or other color, or the size, then put it in a class with a higher number. Every single class can have a first, second, and third place, but sometimes there is only one plant in a class. Then the second and third place ribbons are not given out. Paphiopedilums have 3 trophy classes. The first trophy class is species paths, which are divided into one flower, multifloral, and sequential bloomers. The second trophy class is primary path hybrids. The third trophy class is complex path hybrids, like bulldogs. Again, if you don't know which class a path should be in, put it in a class with a smaller or higher number, but don't put a path in the wrong trophy class. Because there are often so many paths in a show, multiple judging teams might judge paths, and the judges will not move a plant across trophy classes. Phalaenopsis are also divided by color, markings, and whether they're multifloral. A multifloral Phalaenopsis is one that has branches, not just that it has more than one flower or spike. Dendrobium classes are divided by type. If you don't know the type of your orchid, the Mid-America Orchid Congress provides a cheat sheet where you can look up the Dendrobium species and which type it belongs to. If you have a hybrid with a funny name, the Mid-America Orchid Congress also has a very large spreadsheet with all the intergeneric hybrid names and the class they belong to. Orchids can only be entered in one class, except for seedlings blooming for the first time or specimen-sized plants. And that's it. Enter your plants in an orchid show and get some ribbons.